Welcome to The Shuby Show, where sports, movies, TV shows, technology, history, and more come to life. Now, please be seated and get ready for some more never-ending nonsense with yours truly, Shuby.
This is The Shuby Show. We're back again. Yes, we do not have a schedule going yet, but we are planning on doing a show every week here now, starting now in October, and today it's just me talking. Yeah, I know you're thinking, great, get to hear him talk again. But I am Carson Shuby, and you can follow me on Twitter at Carson Shuby, or follow The Shuby Show on Twitter at The Shuby Show, or follow us on Facebook or like our page, The Shuby Show on Facebook. Follow us also on Instagram. And today on the show, I am going to be discussing Minnesota sports tragedies, or the worst moments in Minnesota sports. And about 90% of them are Vikings moments. And then this is basically Vikings, Twins, and Timberwolves, and these are the moments that I would say these are the teams that I really care about. So that's why I'm doing those moments. And we got some responses here. Got about 5 responses here from people that are Vikings fans, and some of them are the same, and some of them are different. And I'm going to play a clip of those for you here now.
Blair Walsh has 5 game-winning field goals to his credit, including 2 this year. He walked off a winner here against St. Louis and at Soldier Field. This will be a 27-yard try, for all intents and purposes, to knock Seattle out of the postseason. Kevin McDermott snaps. He's in his first year with the Minnesota Vikings. Jeff Locke holds. Blair Walsh from 27 yards left hash. Snap good. Spot down. Walsh's kick is up. And it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left. And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte. Blair Walsh missed a 27-yard field goal. And the Minnesota Vikings are going to lose 10-9.
Now, sometimes you just rather be lucky than good. And for the Seattle Seahawks, they were lucky today.
Blair Walsh will be asked to come on and kick a field goal, and then Seattle, if they can't block it, will have maybe one opportunity to try to come back and somehow pull this wild card playoff game out of the fire.
You're right, Steve. That's kind of going to be what it's going to take, is either a block or a shank by their kicker, and he has shanked some before. But this is kind of right in his wheelhouse. This ball is right up. It is shorter than an extra point right now. It's just a matter of getting the football up in the air.
He's got 3 of them already today, does Blair Walsh, from 22, 43, and 47, but all were going in the other direction. This is a 27-yard field goal attempt from the left hash mark for Blair Walsh to try to give the Vikings the lead. The snap, the kick is up.
Missed
it's
it.
No good! Are you kidding me? It's no good! Oh, baby, it's Christmas in Minnesota, and the Seahawks have dodged a bullet from 26 yards out. Blair Walsh, misses the field goal attempt, and Seattle now with 22 seconds left, and the Vikings have no timeouts left. 1 kneel down, and the Seahawks will move on to Carolina.
Brett Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw.
If you
combine his career, regular and postseason, he's 23 of 25.
Hartley sends the Saints to the Super Bowl.
And Anderson hasn't missed in 2 years.
So that's a pretty good bet if you say, do you think Gary Anderson will make this field goal? The answer should probably be yes.
39 yards away. And it's not good. 2:07 left. The Falcons have one timeout. They have the ball as Anderson misses.
Morton Anderson right now is the difference between the Falcons going to the Super Bowl or maybe the Vikings going to the Super Bowl.
Well, he's handled the pressure before from 39 yards out. Anderson is good. He knows it. They know it. Morton Anderson. From 38 yards officially, Morton Anderson and the Atlanta Falcons ended 30-27, and Atlanta goes to Miami.
Here it is. The season's on the line. Two receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs. I believe it was caught by Nate Poole. He's being mugged by his Cardinal teammates.
Well, if that just doesn't add to an already pretty bad week, if you ask me, with the Las Vegas shooting and the Twins losing. Oh, speaking of the Twins losing.
Fly ball center field. Well hit. At the track. He's done it again. There's bedlam in the Bronx as Alex Rodriguez, a new man in 2009, has tied this game in the ninth inning and nobody out. It's driven down the left field line. And it is gone. The Yankees walked off with reckless abandon at home in 2009, and Mark Teixeira walks off with a laser down the left field line.
2-1 cutter inside. Right off the top of that cement, bounds into the fans in left field.
And that was the 2009 Game 2 of the ALDS, where the Twins, again, had a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the ninth. A-Rod comes up with a runner on base, hits it out, ties the game, and then Mark Teixeira in extras with the walk-off down the left field line. That was just one year against the Yankees. There are so many other moments for Twins fans, including when we were up 3-0. Those were good times. Good times when the Twins were up 3-0. And yeah, that was good times. Good times, very good times. But unfortunately, the good times would not last. They would not roll, as the Twins lose to the Yankees 8-4 in the wild card round. The one wild card game, which I thought they had a lot better chance of winning a one-game wild card than a series against the Yankees. And they played well offensively to start out, and then kind of ceased when the bullpen came in. But the real story is no help from Irvin Santana, who is expected to take on that veteran role and be the leader out there. And instead, it ended up being a guy like Brian Dozier or Eddie Rosario, who had both of them had home runs in the game. And I was very impressed with Brian Dozier. But anyways, the Twins are losing that. And going back to the Vikings, so I got one, Blair Walsh missing the 27-yard chip shot field goal against Seattle in 2015. That was from Tyler Holstein at TylerH_52 on Twitter. And I got a wide left or 2009 comment from Albertson Chase on Twitter, at Albertson Chase. And from Brian Leuenberger, I had two of them. The 1998, Gary Anderson missing the 38-yard field goal to put the Vikings up by 10 with just over 2 minutes remaining, and then knowing Atlanta would come down and score and get the ball, or get the game won in overtime, as you all heard that already. And then, of course, 2009 NFC Championship game, loss to New Orleans. 12 men in the huddle to make Favre have to throw, and then the pick, and another loss in OT. And then Ross Ackerman, at Ross Ackerman, on Twitter said, the 2003 push-out rule game against Arizona to knock us out of the playoffs, and you heard Paul Allen's dismay on that one. That almost was worse than... I was expecting a lot worse reaction, when Paul did that 2009 call. Obviously, I've heard it multiple times, but you'd think he'd be like, oh my, like, be more, no! Instead of, I can't believe what I'm just seeing. And he's probably to the point where it's like, he can't believe it, but then he got a little bit more excited when the Vikings missed that kick with Blair Walsh. And of course, yeah, that's been the story of Paul Allen's career, just calling a lot of games that have been bad, really. Of course, he's called other games that have been really good. So that is the Vikings. That is Minnesota sports right there. We lose a lot, as you could hear, and that's not even getting into it fully enough. I mean, for the Vikings, that's a lot of it. And of course, the Twins also losing to the Yankees more times. Now have lost 13 straight postseason games, which is tied for the most in Major League history. But the good news for the Twins is that they've actually won World Series in 1987 and 1991. But that was before I was born, so I have yet to see a championship from one of my teams other than the Lakers. I think it was 2007, and that was actually, I'm a Lakers fan. I kind of just started liking Kobe, and I kind of heard that they actually played in Minneapolis. And purple and gold, I love those colors, and loved Kobe. Liked the fact that they were originally from Minneapolis, and then they moved, and they actually won championships in Minneapolis. So that's some of the reasons I liked them, and it doesn't make much sense to be the LA Lakers, to be thinking about it. Minneapolis Lakers sounded a lot more sense, made a lot more sense, or Minnesota Lakers, But anyways, I don't think I know of too many Timberwolves moments other than when they lost. I think it was 2004, and I'll see if I can get something for that here in a moment. Well, not really finding anything that would really say that the Wolves lost like on a really bad play or anything. But they were in the conference finals, and they lost to the Lakers, and it wasn't like it was a 4-0 blowout. It was 4-2. 4-2. The Lakers beating the Timberwolves. So that was kind of probably a heartbreaking moment. If the Wolves, in their first time making the playoffs, if they would have gone to the finals in their first year in the playoffs, that would have been quite something, I think. But unfortunately, ran into the Lakers, and then the Lakers ended up losing to the Pistons in the championship. So the Lakers didn't even win it that year. But that is pretty much it for this episode. Just wanted to, after the Twins lost, I was like, let's just wallow in self-pity, guys. Let's just feel how bad it is to be a Minnesota sports fan, especially Vikings. At least the Twins have won a championship. I mean, they won 2 of them. I had 3 of them. 2 of them only in Minnesota. 1 of them, 3 of them in total franchise history. With the Senators back in I think it was 1960, maybe before. I think it was actually before that. But anyways, that is a lot of audio of sorrow for Vikings fans and then Twins fans at the end. How many home runs did the Yankees hit over the Twins? And just hearing the Teixeira home run at the end, and then, of course, the A-Rod home run to tie it. I still don't like A-Rod. But it was a lot more, I will say, the wild card defeat was it was easier for me to accept than A-Rod beating us, knowing that he could have been on steroids, and I just did not like A-Rod. I still don't like A-Rod. But Aaron Judge is a pretty likable guy. I don't know about Gregorius, though. He kind of puts me off a little bit. Kind of seems odd. But anyways, that is going to do it. Next week, still not for sure what's going to come next week, but we will have an episode next week. And looking forward to hopefully getting Rhett Bollinger on to recap the season a little bit. We had him on at the beginning of the year, had him on at the All-Star break, and also had him on, and we're also planning on having him on to talk about a recap of the season and then look ahead to the off-season for the Twins and see what moves they need to make to get that playoff win and maybe go further in the postseason, because they have the talent. Buxton, Sano, if they can get back to health and stay healthy. Of course, we saw Buxton go out of the game and Sano didn't end up on the playoff roster. But if those guys can come back next year healthily and play to the level that they can play, this Twins team is going to be reckoned with, I think. So we'll see if they can do it. We'll see if they can add on to the roster, which is very young, other than guys like Joe Mauer, who is in his 30s. I think that might be the only guy in the position player ranks that is over the age of 30. I think. And the bullpen, other than Matt Belisle, right now is relatively young, and of course Glenn Perkins, but I think his career is done with the Twins. And that is pretty much it. Vikings, of course, losing Dalvin Cook, that's another reason why, and losing to the Lions, another reason why we decided to do this today, just to wallow in self-pity a little bit and get us feeling down about ourselves, because, sports, Minnesota sports, no. But there is still hope, guys. For the Twins, it's next year, and for the Vikings, it's hopefully beating a rookie quarterback on Monday Night Football, Mitch Trubisky. But, of course, the Vikings never win at Soldier Field, so it's pretty impossible, right? We'll see. The last time they won at Soldier Field, guess who was starting at quarterback? Teddy Dave Bridgewater. Yes, I said it. Teddy Dave Bridgewater. Unfortunately, he won't be starting this one, but maybe next year we can beat the Bears at Soldier Field, guys. That is our hope as of right now, beating the Bears there next year, with hopefully Teddy coming back healthy at some point this year. He should definitely be back sometime next year, and hopefully plays against the Bears and wins and takes us to the Super Bowl with Dalvin Cook also returning from injury. So that would just be a dream come true, right? And the Twins, led by Miguel Sano and Byron Buxton, power their way to the World Series. And the Timberwolves, in year 2 of the Jimmy Butler experiment, they have won the NBA Finals. How about that, folks? 3 championships for Minnesota in 1 year. How awesome would that be? How realistic is it? Not at all. But that would be pretty sweet. Both teams have chances next year. I believe that. I still think the Vikings have a shot this year if they can get some guys back healthy, and if their offense, if Latavius Murray can play a solid role. He doesn't have to be Dalvin Cook, because obviously he can't be, because Dalvin Cook is just way above in a talent level on his own compared to any running back on the roster. I'm sorry, Jerick McKinnon. Still like you, but he had a terrible game Sunday for one, and he's got some work to do, I think, if he's going to ever be an all-purpose, all-down back. But I think he is good in a complementary role, and I think the Vikings will see that over the next 12 weeks. 13 weeks, actually, with the bye week in there. So, but yeah, we'll maybe also try and get a Timberwolves guy on to talk about the Timberwolves coming in to this new season and see what they think on their chances of getting to the playoffs and how far they can go. And also, maybe get a Vikings guy in here, maybe towards the bye week or something, to talk about how the season's gone so far and that kind of thing. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. And next week, we'll hope to come back again. Until then, Skol.
Thanks for listening to The Shuby Show. We hope you mildly enjoyed yourself with more never-ending nonsense with yours truly. For more nonsense, go to the website, theschubyshow.com. Get the show on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. Until next time, Skol.